my uncle is a lawyer. I haven't approached him in terms of this yet, but basically, we will stay within the confines of the law in terms of anything that we seek to do and anything that we do. We want to be a friend of the people, but we also know that we have to also be a friend of the governments, of the authorities. And so we will play that fine line and make sure it's a win-win situation. Basically, what it is this thing is going to benefit we, the African people, and we all need to find a way to make it happen.
And you have the muscles to go through the normal African bureaucracy.
We don't have the muscles yet.
But you're going to build it.
Well, we hope to build it. Okay. We don't have the muscle yet, but yeah, we hope to.
All right. So, what do you need? What do you need from the public to know about CAO Africa, and what type of support would you be interested in getting to make your work easier?
Right now, we are a little small, tiny organization like this. However, we want to grow to be this big.
Okay.
You know, we need a lot of help.
Okay.
We need a lot of support. We would like to first of all start with creating the awareness of CAO Africa organization. We need to know that what we are proposing in the short term and in the long term is for the benefit of Africa. It's for the benefit of the African people, and quite frankly, for the benefit of the world. And we need you guys. We need your support. We need your donations. We need your funding. We need your grants. However, at the moment, we are pushing for a drive. We want to get 100,000 registered members on our website.
Oh, you have a website?
Yes, we do have a website.
What is the website?
www.careafriqueorganization, CAREAFRIQUE.org. And we want to have at least 100,000 registered members on our website, registered fan base on our website, which will help us gain the necessary clout that we need to be heard, to have a voice in the global scope, in the African scope, to have a voice to push forward for our changes, our reforms, our projects.
Do you have any type of events taking place here in the Bronx?
At the moment, we do not have any events taking place, but we will definitely announce it to you if we do have any events coming up. Okay. Yeah, we will definitely announce it to you. But this drive is a very big drive, man. We need to have a voice. We need to have a backing. We need to have support. And the only way we're going to be able to prove that we do have support and we do have the backing that we need is to have masses behind us, to have a voice behind us, to have the populace behind us. I'm urging all African students, Africans in the diaspora, because worldwide, CAO Africa organization is a worldwide organization. You can go anywhere and click on our website and you will see the same thing anyone is seeing, including us in the United States, Africa, Europe, anywhere is the same content. We need to have a drive. We need Africans in the diaspora, Africans in Africa. We need all the students, all the well-wishers of Africans to join our website, to join this CAO Africa organization, and let's get our voices heard.
All right, so now let's go beyond Ghana.
Yes.
Okay, actually, let's come out of CAO Africa and,
yes. Okay.
And let's talk about Africa in general. You know, in one hand, we've been crying for foreign capital investors to come to Africa, and any part of Africa, it doesn't matter, and invest and bring money, and so that you know, we can continue to develop the continent, which has so much resources. And sometimes it's even painful to say we have a lot of resources, and people will say, so what? You have a lot of resources, but you haven't done anything with it, except that people are benefiting from it. Now in Nigeria, in Somalia, in Sudan, in Congo, many parts of Africa, we have so much internal strifes and people are getting killed. What do you think is the solution to all these difficult challenges that is taking place in various African countries?
Being a Pan-Africanist, I would say the solution is nationalism.
Okay.
People do not have a sense of belonging.
Okay.
We Africans do not have a sense of belonging. We do not have a sense of, I am African, and being an African carries upon this responsibility, this accountability. For instance, the senseless killing in Nigeria stemmed out of religious infighting. We need to understand, and I hope they are listening. If I hope they are listening. Whoever is causing all that stuff, that we are first. We were first Africans before there was any introduction of Christianity and Islam into Africa. And so, for you to kill your people, insisting on all of them because they're not of a particular religion, or insisting on people to be of a particular religion, is absurd. And I think I hope that they will enlighten themselves up. This is the part where Africa needs to wake up to its own issues and not blame other people and other entities. Is to enlighten our own self. If you believe in A, great, believe in A, but don't insist that the other person who believes in B believe in A as well. I mean, freedom of religion is a big thing, and it should be realized. It should be understood by all religions. We cannot all be Muslims, and that is the bottom line. And we cannot all be Christians. We cannot all be Buddhists. We can. I mean, I don't know what your religious affiliation is, but I wish we could all be one, but it can't be like that. People are different, and it needs to be understood that way. Yeah. And so killing people just because they are not Muslim, to me, is absurd, and quite frankly, doesn't speak well of any African country at all.
Since you and I live here in the diaspora, in the Bronx, we pretty much understand, the strength with the African Americans, the buying power and the economic, strength that it has now, and also the fact that it is one community that is dying to reconnect with, with its roots, and the roots is the continent. What message or what information would you provide someone who have never been to the continent, but who is dying to, to be there, either, on vacation or to go for investment, or even, to go for fun? What message would you have, or what encouragement, or what courses do you have for these individuals?
That would be a great initiative. That would be a very, very great initiative. If we all do know that African Americans in the diaspora, in America, are very successful at the moment, and are increasingly getting more successful. They are creating more avenues to become successful for themselves. They are a force to be reckoned with now in the world. The music entertainment, the entertainment business is about $1 billion a year organization, an institution. We have the likes of Oprah Winfrey, the likes of Mr. Bob Johnson. We have the likes of Barack Obama. The shift from where they want to relocate with the mother continent and then the home continent, I don't see it, but I'm sure you've done your research. But it will be a great initiative. We should all understand, and I had one guy clearly said it clearly. I don't know if you heard about Bob Marley and those people, our brothers and sisters in Jamaica. Peter Tosh said it. He said, no matter where you come from, if you are a black man, you are an African. And so if by this premise they do realize that they have a missing link and they want to retrace back to their missing link, not only does Africa need them, but we also want them. And we would applaud that idea of reconnecting with the family, with the homeland, and hoping that they bring their knowledge, skills to help the continent, the motherland, get to where it's supposed to be, which is the top. We should not forget, Africa produces Africa feeds the world with resources. Well over 90% of all resources the world currently uses today for all secondary goods, all secondary products are mined in Africa. Okay, we sit on 43% of the world's water resources, and yet there are droughts and famines in Africa. So there are a lot of solutions that they could be a part of in Africa, and make things a better place for us all. And if they want to take a visit, it will be a great. If they want to relocate, it will be great. They want an industry. That's a phenomenal idea. That's a phenomenal.
So, but let's say if you're talking to a colleague or friend of yours, an African American male or female, about visiting Africa, and the question of safety, personal safety, comes because, we've seen, reports, relentless reports, showing Africa as a place of danger, poverty, and sickness, and all the problems that will cause one to question, the reason for going there. I mean, is Africa is what's being sown, or there are more to Africa than those who have not been to the continent should know?
Well, it's a different place.
Okay.
You are traveling from America to Africa. So you are traveling from point A to point B. You are going from a different place to a different place. You might not have all the luxuries that you expect over here, over there. However, we also have a lot of luxuries over there that you could not find over here.
Such as? Such
as maybe, perhaps, if I may say, I don't know if you are a lover of nature. We do have great parks in Africa where you could see God's splendor, God's magnificent splendor, his omnipotence, his beauty, in the land. Music might be different, culture might be different, traditions might be different. But if you want to travel, you want to sort of go to learn or to see, and when you talk about crime rate and dangerous place and this and that, and I've lived in the United States for 14 plus years. People get killed over here too. I mean, I haven't seen any African country on the list of most dangerous, the highest crime cities in the world yet. Yes, there is crime everywhere you go. I mean, we are sorry. It's an unfortunate reality, but whatever woes can happen to you in Africa can happen to you over here. Actually, I actually just heard about a lady who went to the zoo and was attacked by the gorilla in the zoo. Her baby fell in the thing and was attacked by the gorilla. Now, you would think this happened somewhere in Africa, but this happened in the United States. I mean, a gorilla attacking a human being, So we should just keep our fingers crossed and hope for the best, I guess.
True.
We should also keep a positive mind.
you know, there is a question in the minds of many people about you know, about black people, about Africans. First of all, Africa is not developed. Why is not? And Africa is the cradle of civilization, as it is called. And Africa is, as a continent, the most resourceful continent, naturally resourceful, but yet not developed. So the question a lot of people have is that, are we, by nature, people who cannot develop things?
That is not true.
Okay. So
I don't think that is true.
okay.
We had the world's first known developed civilization
Okay.
was in Africa. Some people attempt to limit it to Egypt or to Sudan. However, we all know that the first developed civilized society was in Africa. The first university was in Africa. When it comes to the development aspect, is we have come to know development today in a different way. That is to have roads and to have, you know, I don't know, railway or to have an airport. It's, some people term it developed. But we Africans should have our own twist to what development is. Because God blessed us with nature and all its fullness. And then we have also learned to build industry. Human beings have also learned, mankind has also learned to build industry and to further improve our lifestyles, which is the part that Africa is missing. The manufacturing of the manufacturing and the stuff like that, the secondary products. What Africa should be doing, and which will also be part of Carefree Organization's development projects, which we are talking about, we will be including these secondary projects into Africa as well. You know, the development of roads, networks, railways, and proper sewage and water distribution and clean, available, all these things which are man-made. We will try to incorporate it into it, but also we will also try to blend in with the African environment, which is not neglecting that. People might see trees to be an eyesore, but we need to understand that a tree is life-giving. And so instead of fully adopting the Western style of what a developed nation should be, I think Africa should have its own definition of what a developed place should be.
Is CAO Africa Organization's mission is to educate Africans about the green movement? For example, recently, especially during the time of economic downturn in the developed world, people began to go back to nature. They began to downsize and even homes. I was invited to a meeting recently where this lady is forming an organization dedicated to educating Muslim women about how to create a green household.
Yes.
So they're talking about the carpets, different carpets. Even though you may buy a carpet that is cheap, but health-wise, you're paying a very expensive price, and the lead base and a lot of different stuff. So, CAO Africa Organization, are you part of the green movement?
Sort of. We cannot talk about Africa without talking about green.
Okay.
We need to realize that the Amazon does not contain the biggest forest in the world. The biggest forest in the world in Africa. So we cannot talk about Africa. The nature of Africa is green. However, the problem, the issue is how do we incorporate, how do we get this secondary development and add with the green aspect, with the natural environmental aspect, and thank God technology has solved that problem. I think I think solar energy is the most, in terms when it comes to Africa, solar energy is the most efficient, cheapest in long term, cheapest form of renewable energy anyone is going to ever think of. Because in most parts of Africa, we only have two climates, which is the wet and the dry. And in this wet and dry climates, we still have sunshine. So unless anyone is going to propose that the sun is not going to shine for I don't know how long, solar energy is the most renewable, clean energy that I think all African countries, all African nations should jump on it right away, and maintain, while maintaining our green ecosystem, which is not only good for us human beings, but also the wildlife species, that diverse wildlife species that we also have scattered all around the continent.
In Ghana, China-made goods recently came to light as, lead-laden products that are carelessly being peddled to the detriment of our children.
Yes.
And even now, they are saying that in Africa, some foreigners are manufacturing and importing bogus medicine.
Yes.
Not only they're useless, but they could be dangerous. Have you heard of such allegations?
Yes, I have heard those rumors.
Okay. In Ghana, what is the Ghanaian authority or the Ghanaian government do about such situation?
I don't.
To your knowledge,
I don't fully know exactly what they're doing about it, how they're going about doing about it. But this again goes to the issue of nationalism, of governments, of local authorities, and their decisions that affect either positively or negatively their masses, their populations. If we have someone or an entity or an organization or institution or a company importing into your country bogus goods that are dangerous for your citizens, for ourselves, or bogus medicines, I don't know what else they are importing, doing tests of illegal chemicals in your country, and stuff like this. What is the authorities stand on these issues? What is the government stand on these issues? Because obviously, the guy had to come from a different country to your country to establish. So he must have had some government or some institution or some ministry's support to do this. Now, it goes back to the thing. If I'm a leader, or if you were a leader, would you do this to your people? Would you do this to yourself? Would you do this to your people? No. Because me knowing you would not do these kind of stuff. But fortunately, someone will. And it is hurting the African population, the indigenous people, dying rampantly of unknown crazy diseases, unknown symptoms, unknown all this because they do not know the effects of the bad drugs or the bad chemical tests and the bad disposal of chemicals and stuff. They do not know the effect of these things. And so proper legislation and proper sanctioning should, I believe, and actually even just not even allowing them to do these things in the country would solve the problem. This is something this is an African problem. Although it is being perpetuated by foreign entities and stuff like that, we are allowing them to do it. And that is where the Africans come into play. Why are we allowing other foreign entities to kill our own people? First of all, we have to learn that we should not trust these people in the first place, because we already know what we've been through with the